Have you ever felt that asking for help makes you look weak? Or maybe the thought of relying on someone else just makes you deeply uncomfortable? You are not the only one. A 2022 survey showed that 73% of people put off asking for help until they absolutely have to. Today, we are talking about why that is, and a specific pattern known as hyperindependence. A psychological response that can leave you feeling isolated and completely overwhelmed. Our society loves to praise independence. We celebrate people who can pull themselves up by their bootstraps and do it all on their own. But behind that image of strength, there's often a more complicated story. For many, refusing to ask for help is not about being resilient. It is a symptom of hyperindependence. This is a kind of compulsive self-reliance that often comes from deep emotional wounds, especially childhood trauma. It is important to clarify that hyperindependence is not a formal mental health diagnosis you would find in a textbook. Instead, think of it as a learned survival strategy. So, we are going to reframe it. Not as a personality flaw, but as a trauma response. We will get into the psychology behind it and talk about real ways to heal and move towards something much healthier. Interdependence. So, what is hyperindependence? It is an extreme form of self-reliance where you feel like you have to handle everything yourself. And you avoid asking for help, even when you are struggling. Healthy independence is flexible. You can choose to rely on yourself or others. But hyperindependence feels rigid and automatic. It is not really a lifestyle choice. It is a reflex developed to protect yourself from emotional pain. At its heart, hyperindependence is very often a response to trauma. It can start when a person's early environment, especially their family, does not provide a feeling of safety or emotional support. When a child experiences things like neglect, abuse, or abandonment, they learn a tough lesson. Being vulnerable can lead to being hurt or let down. So, they adapt by turning down their need for others and relying completely on themselves. This can stem from childhood emotional neglect, where caregivers are emotionally distant. It can come from betrayal or abandonment, where a child learns others are not reliable. Or it can come from chronic instability, teaching a child not to expect help to arrive when it is needed. Hyperindependence is not just a habit. Some theories suggest it is connected to our brain's wiring. When a child learns over and over that being vulnerable leads to pain, their nervous system may start to see asking for help as a threat. Some researchers believe this can create a feedback loop where the brain's stress centers become overactive. This might explain why people with hyperindependence often feel a wave of anxiety or guilt when someone offers to help. They are not just being stubborn. Their nervous system might literally be trying to keep them safe based on old experiences. Ultimately, hyperindependence is a defense mechanism built to prevent more emotional pain. The key psychological drivers include a fear of vulnerability, a need for control to regain power, deep-seated mistrust, and feelings of shame or unworthiness. That protective shield you built in childhood can become a real problem in adulthood. This refusal to let anyone in can lead to burnout and overwork because you cannot delegate. It leads to isolation, making it hard to build close relationships. It also increases the risk for anxiety and depression. And the chronic stress of carrying everything alone can take a physical toll. So hyperindependence is not a sign of how strong you are. It is often a sign of unresolved pain. The goal is not to become less independent. It is about learning to be flexible, to know when to rely on yourself and when it is safe to lean on others. The first step is just awareness. Start noticing the signs in yourself. Do you get uncomfortable when someone offers a hand? Do you always take on more than you can handle? Do you have trouble trusting others with tasks? The second step is understanding the emotional roots. Healing starts with connecting the dots. It involves looking back at those early experiences of neglect or betrayal and seeing how they still shape your actions today. The third step is to retrain the nervous system. To heal, you have to teach your nervous system that connection can be safe. This is often done with professional help. Therapies like EMDR, eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. And trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy are designed to help process past trauma. Mindfulness practices can also help you notice the feelings that come up when help is offered, giving you a chance to choose a new response. The fourth step is to build trust and practice vulnerability. Healthy interdependence is built on trust. This means carefully choosing safe relationships and practicing vulnerability in small, manageable steps. You do not have to share your deepest secrets right away. It can start with something small. The final goal is to embrace healthy interdependence. This means building relationships based on mutual trust and respect, where you can both give and receive support. Hyperindependence is not a character flaw. It is a survival tactic born from times when you could not count on anyone else. But healing is possible. By understanding where this intense self-reliance comes from and slowly learning to build trust, you can move from a life of isolation toward one of connection. In the end, the ability to ask for help is not a weakness. It is a profound act of courage and a huge step toward real healing. If any of this resonated with you, hit that like button. Share your own experiences in the comments below. You would be surprised how many people feel the same way. And do not forget to subscribe for more insights into the psychology of our everyday lives.